exercise at all. It's a way to relax a very important muscle in your body. That's the psoas muscle. It's in that hip flexor group. So I'm going to drop down here, and I have Michelle already in the proper position. Her knees are bent. Her feet are roughly about 16, 18 inches apart. She's in nice alignment here. She's relaxed. She's not trying to tilt her pelvis or do anything. It's just a relaxed position, her neutral spine. What she's going to do, she's just going to very lightly hold on to this pad with very, very little pressure. Okay? Because this is something that she wants to be able to maintain and hold for several minutes at a time. Okay? If you feel fatigue or feel tired in any way, you're probably just squeezing a little bit too much on there. What this is doing is actually releasing the deep muscles that are, you can't obviously see them, the deep muscles that attach to our lumbar spine and to the top of our femur. It's a very, very interesting muscle group, the psoas major, and that muscle becomes constantly under stress when we're in a seated position all day long at work, in the car, at home. So what we're doing is we're releasing that muscle, we're letting it stretch out, we're letting it lengthen and just relax. And what that muscle does is just a numerous amount of things for us. And so by letting that muscle just relax and let the tension out of that muscle, it's going to do so much for us in our ability to perform in the gym. So I hope this was very helpful to you. Do this for several minutes at a time. Just find a spot on the floor at home, at the gym, and you'll get a lot out of this, I promise you. In order for an athlete to perform at their best, they need to perform with explosive power through their hips. In order to generate that kind of force, you should be doing Olympic lifting. So I'm going to give you a free guide to Olympic lifting. Just click here so you can give me your email address and I can personally send you that information.
So for this one, you go into a half kneel position, take one knee to the ground. We're going to rock those hips forward. Now from this position, I'm going to gently twist to the leg that's in front. So my right side's in front. I'm going to take my left hand, pull my body across towards the knee that's in front. Hold this for about 20 to 30 seconds. Trying to get deeper into the stretch. Do the same thing on the other side. Guys, it's really important to maintain 90 degrees in both knees. You drive your hips forward and then you take that hand, pull your body towards the leg that's in front. You're going to feel a lot of tension being released on that lower back. Again, go to wherever you feel is comfortable. Don't overdo it. Do this a couple times each side if you really want to open up that back. Guys, we made something special for you. It's right here. Check it out. It's a free Olympic lifting report. Look at it and you're definitely going to learn something. Thanks, guys, for checking. We're going to start on the floor. So for here, you want to be on your back. Raise the hips up. Pull that knee in. I'm going to do about 3 on each side, keeping the hips up. Next one, we're going to do the similar thing, but we're going to cross the leg, raise the hips up 3 times. Trying to push this leg away from the body. Same thing on the other side. Next one, we're going to do a 45-degree angle glute bridge. Raise the hips up 3 times. Same thing on the other side. Good, we're going to flip on over to an all-fours position. We're going to go into the bird dogs. Hands under the shoulders, knees under our hips. Going to extend one arm out, opposite leg out, fully extend. Reach underneath the body, extend back out. Same thing on the other side. Now we're going to go to all fours here. Hands and feet. Bring one knee to the opposite elbow, tucking it under the body. Now we're going to stay in this position, but bring one leg forward. Now we're going to drop the opposite hip down to the floor, keeping that back leg straight. All we're doing is rocking that hip down to the ground. Same thing on the other side. Good, next we'll go to a half kneel position here. Similar concept to what we just did. Now we're just going to rock forward and then rock back. Final stretch, stretch out the inner thighs here, our adductors. One leg on the floor, other leg pointed straight up. Gonna sit back, butt hits the heel. Drive forward, hips come forward in front of the body, and sit back down, all while maintaining an extended outside leg. Same thing on the other side. Toes are up, sit back on that heel, hips go forward. Good. Guys, that's some quick exercises to help loosen up and completely just relax those hips, prepare them for some work. Like us, follow us. We got a free report for you on all on Olympic lifting. Check out the report after you do this stuff, because this is going to help. First thing you always want to do is go right at the hip flexor there at the top of the quads. Apply all your pressure on that area. Now guys, the hip flexor is not a big area of the muscle, or the body I should say. It's right at the top of the quadriceps, right on top of that hip bone. Now you can see I'm rotating the angle of my body, twisting side to side to get all parts of the hip flexors. So do this for about 20 to 30 seconds. Once you feel like you've loosened up that hip flexor, then you flip on over. And now you're going to stretch out the hip flexor using the foam roller. Sit right on top of the roller. Shoulders go back on the floor. As you can see, the only thing that's elevated off the floor are my hips using the foam roller. So now from this position, I just stretched out, I rolled out my right side. Now I'm going to pull that left knee into the chest as hard as I can. You're going to feel a tremendous stretch in that hip flexor. Hold this for about 20 seconds. Now if you can see, my toes are pointed straight up towards the ceiling. That's really going to emphasize that stretch in that hip flexor. Do the same thing on the other side. Foam roll that hip flexor real quick, about 20 to 30 seconds. Flip on over again. Shoulders on the floor. Now I'm going to pull my right knee into my chest, keeping that left leg extended, feeling that stretch deep in that hip flexor. Oh man, that feels so good. Guys, do that right before you work out, right before you get into the heavy lifting, even right before you go for a run. Guys, check out this free report we have for you all about Olympic lifting. Have a good one.
Hey there, Coach Chris, head strength coach at Critical Bench. So I'm going to go over today with the beautiful Michelle the number one mistake that people make with a hip mobility stretch that is very common. So Michelle's going to get down onto one knee. So she's in a 90-90 position right now, okay? She's in perfect position right now for the stretch. And where people fail themselves with this very effective stretch is they fail to do a few things. Number one, they fail to realize that they need to have some hip drive in this down hip, this left side hip, right? So in order to do that, you have to fire your glute while you're in this position. So what Michelle's going to do right now, she's going to lock and squeeze this glute on the left side, and she's going to really focus on driving her left hip forward, okay? At the same time, she's thinking about keeping her chest upright. And if she wants to intensify the stretch a bit more, she can go ahead and bring this left arm straight up overhead. Turn the palm. So she's thinking about a few things. She's thinking about moving her hips forward. She's thinking about locking and squeezing that glute to really initiate that muscle to force her thigh forward. And she's thinking about really keeping that upper body upright with really good posture, and even a little bit of lean back or even away to the right a little bit to intensify that stretch a bit more. So she's going to feel that much more effectively, and it's going to do what she's intending to do, which is to really stretch out the hip flexor on the left side. She'll hold that stretch for a good 20, even up to 30 seconds. You could do it multiple times, and you can just go from the left side to the right side and do a few sets. Hey, so if you found that tip to be helpful, I got something else great for you. I have a guide to Olympic lifting, which is going to help bring your explosiveness and your power back to your hips, which is so important for all athletes. All you got to do is click right here, and I can get your email and personally give you that report that's going to really help you out. Thank you so much. Hey, what's going on? Coach Chris, head strength coach at criticalbench.com. I'm here today with injury specialist Rick Caselge from Exercises for Injuries. And Rick is the man when it comes to giving you some power back into your hips. So we're going to go through a really cool exercise, mobility exercise, that you should be doing if you want to get more out of your squats, stronger squats. So Rick, take me through this.
Okay, so what we're going to end up doing is a 90-90 heel lift. So I'm going to get Chris down on the mat in a 90-90 position. So what we're looking at is front leg, ankle, knee, and hip are at 90, and same thing ends up happening with the back leg. Hip, knee are at 90. Want that foot, knee, and hip in perfect alignment, so I don't want the knee out or in. Good, perfect, strong alignment, and same with the back leg as well. Nice, perfect alignment. Then what we're going to do is we're going to do the heel lift part. So Chris is going to reach back, grab the front of his foot, pull it up. There you go. He's got great upper body alignment. He's got balance going on. He's going to tighten up the abdominal areas, and then he's going to bring his hips a little bit forward by tightening up his glutes, and that's really going to work on the hip mobility. By pulling up that back leg or that heel lift, we've really ratcheted the front of the thigh, and we're really targeting the mobility in the hip. Now, if this ends up being way too difficult for you, you can drop that heel lift and just go with that 90-90 position. You're going to get benefit from doing it, and you can end up progressing to that heel lift part. So give that exercise a go. Reps and set scheme, you're holding roughly about 20 seconds, and you'd end up doing it twice on each side. So you end up alternating back and forth. And to test things out, what I tell people to do, especially with mobility exercises, try it on one side and then go do your lower body work, so your squat work, and see how things end up feeling. Seeing if that side that you worked, when it came to this mobility exercise, does it feel looser? Does it feel better doing the exercise? If it feels better, it kind of reinforces the fact that you should end up doing the exercise. And then do the exercise and see how you end up performing in the exercise.
That's an awesome tip, Rick. I've been doing that stretch for years, and it definitely leads to better performance, certainly with your squats or just about any of the power lifts, that are most common. So if you like that tip and you'd like something else, I got something free for you. I got a free guide to Olympic lifting, which is going to give you some of that explosive power back into your hips. All you got to do is click that link, give us your email so that I can personally send you that free guide. I know it's going to be something that you'd like to take a look at. Thanks so much for watching. Thank you, Rick.
No worries.
And we'll see you real soon.